Hello, this is Rodrigo. Here's the tutorial to do the wall painting. This is a wall, no? This is the model of our wall, and the first step is to install the laser to trace one straight line, 30 centimeters from the floor. So we would have it here. It's this, the laser line. And on the laser line, we place the first line of tape. The tape we are using is 2.5 centimeters thick. So, I mean, you have to imagine this is the whole complete wall, no? And on this laser line, we then put the tape like this all around, considering the corners the same, not the whole complete turn of the wall, because we have to put the laser again on the same level. So we have to keep in mind which is the level from of the laser line to repeat it in each wall. So we have the first one. Then we use small pieces of the same tape to divide the lines. So we do it like this. I will show you. Like this. So I'm doing this to sort of save on tape. We could as well put the whole line again, but here these tapes, we're gonna take them out to leave this space to paint on it. So, but here we're using it to create a space that has the same size of the line. So what we're doing is, instead of like measuring and putting a line and then another tape, we're just using this small bits of tape to create the distance. So next step is to put another complete line on top of these little strips. So we do it like this. So this is like how we have it now. So the next step is basically to repeat the same thing we did from here to here. Now we have to do it from here to here. We can use the same pieces of tape actually. We take them and we just move them up. At some point these same pieces of tape will stop having glue, so we have to change them, but we can use them a couple of times. And there we go. There it is. And so this means we have this empty space, the same size of the two stripes of tape. So this is what we are creating with the little bits, no? So from here we have a chance to make another full line of tape. So there we go. There we go. So this is a very simple method to create equal distances between the lines, no? I'm just gonna make another line to, and so we have here the laser line, no, still, and the first line that we pasted with the laser. So from here to the bottom we just do the same. We just use some strips of tape and then a whole tape to continue with it like this. Now we should try to keep this these little bits of tape as close from each other as possible, so it's easy to continue the straight line. So at the end it has to stay to be as straight as possible. So here we have, and then we take the bits out. So it's a pretty simple system, this thing. So now this is our fraction of the wall. I mean, you have to imagine this is a very small scale of the wall. And on this wall, all taped, we have to be sure to have all wall taped and probably all the walls taped before we start doing any work. And so on this wall, the first thing we do is paint all over white. Like we go with a roll all over white, so that the borders stay very clean when we put the color. And yeah, so after this first layer of white dries, we can go with the color. So we have two colors, blue and red. And we can start with, actually this is quite free. We can start with one or the other. So let's say we start with the red. So this is the red, and I'm just gonna make I'm just gonna paint on the center, because if not this tutorial will be too long. But this is what we do. We go on top of the red, on top of one of the lines with the red, and of course not with a small brush. We can use a larger brush when we are working on the wall. The only point is that we have to be sure that we know where the tape ends, so we just don't start mixing up the colors. So here we go. So we have the first red. Actually, you have to imagine the wall has probably, I don't know, many lines. So what we do to save time is like work on the red all together, no? So we go from this, we leave one empty space for the blue, and then we go for the next red. And then we do this. We go on the limit. And then we go on with the red, more red here. And so, yes, you have to imagine this goes on and on from up and down to the sides as well, no? When we have it taped. And then, when we finish with the red, imagine I did all the red, then we go to the blue. And for the blue, we just do the same in the ones that stayed empty. So depends a lot in the color and a lot in the type of paint that we use, but sometimes we need to give two hands instead of one. In this case, the red, as you can see, with one hand was enough, but with the blue is not the case, so we need to give two hands to the blue. Depends a lot on the paint, no? So imagine this is it, no? This is what we did, and then we would go on here with the blue if we would have a tape on the top, no? And yeah, so this is kind of it. And so imagine we did the second layer of blue, we finished. Imagine this blue is kind of perfect, as good as the red, no? And then we let it dry, all dry completely, the whole complete wall drawing. And then at the end we can remove the tapes, and this is more or less what we would have as a result. A very sharp, clear-cut drawing. And now at the end, the borders of the lines will be ideally cleaner, a little bit cleaner than here, because we will have the first layer of white paint. But actually the idea is that you see still some of the hand of the maid that makes the drawing, no? So that it's still possible to have a little bit of, it doesn't have to be perfectly clean. And so this is it, and this is the tutorial to making the wall drawing. Bye bye.